We're live. So, folks, welcome in. This is Jonathan J. Owen from the Party Source YouTube channel. We are coming at you after a Christmas hiatus of the We Talk Whiskey Wednesdays. So we talk all things whiskey and have fun with other YouTubers. Joining today, introduce yourself.
I'm Antonio Perez from the whiskey channel Whiskey Quest.
And we got Rob Aquatics here. Good to see you, Rob. All right, so Antonio, why don't you start out? Let's just do the simple stuff. What you drinking today?
Today I'm going to be drinking the House Stark Dalwhinnie Game of Thrones that I just recently reviewed. It's the Winter's Frost. It's a Highland single malt Scotch whiskey at a 43% ABV. What do you have?
Me, let's see here. I haven't poured it yet, so I shall. I am showcasing one of my favorite bourbons of all time. Staple on my shelf, the 1792. This is one of their limited releases. This is their high rye, which I absolutely love this. We got in the chat right now, Rob Aquatics. Rob, always great to see you. And the Whiskey Dude. Thank you, Whiskey Dude, for dropping in. Anybody in the chat want to say what they are drinking or enjoying right now? Oh, that is beautiful. It's the high rye gives it a caramel and fruit with a kick of dust on the finish that rolls into a charred oak barrel. It is just so beautiful. Thanks, Rob. Much love to you too. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Antonio.
Is that the same from the, was that before the whole collapsing thing?
The whole collapsing thing, it did happen, but that was just one rick house.
How many? I don't know how many they have.
Yeah, I had this before that collapsed, but rumor has it most of what was in there was brandy. But however, I can guarantee you there will be Rickhouse Survivor barrels. But when that happened, people ran out and started buying all the 1792 that they could get their hands on because they knew there'd be this drought. And as a result, I mean, it just started filling up on the shelves and more people kept buying it. And they sent out this note to give to us to tell everybody about it. And it was just basically, it just summed up into, guys, this is just a drop of water in a gigantic ocean. There is a lot of bourbon that we are aging. This isn't going to cause any trouble to us.
I thought I did see something about 1792 collapse edition. So I thought it was that. So maybe they did release something.
So let's see here. Just a second. I got somebody asking when we're going live. And Mash and Drum, it is good to see you as well as Craft Beer Pours. Thanks for joining. Yes. Let's see here. Just a second. Sorry. Yeah. No, it's rude to do this, but I'm actually texting. And so. All right. So there we go. And that's good. It's good to see everybody. So in case you guys don't know, Antonio is one of my favorite YouTubers. Just a personality that just is so much fun to watch. I mean, I just love hearing your voice because you just are so calm, and yet it's like one of those teachers that you just enjoy listening to giving a lecture because you know what he is saying is so important.
Okay. Thanks. Luckily, I get to edit out all the stuttering that happens sometimes, huh?
Hey, at least you are not like me on our review that we did for the Shackleton, where in the Shackleton, I said Antarctica was up north.
Hey, it happens, hey. It's part of going live, so.
Yeah, it was just like, and I didn't realize it until like a year later when somebody left it in the comments. It's like, Antarctica is south, guys. The South Pole.
Depends where you are in the world, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Whiskey Dude wants to know what's up, guys, as well as looking good. And he says, Happy New Year, which in case we have not said this to everybody, Happy New Year to all of you. I hope you had a wonderful season and everything is good. We're hoping to kick this back in and do this a little bit more Mash and Drum says it's the beauty of editing, which is very true. And some things you just don't catch. Oh, thanks, Rob. Rob just tweeted us out. So we'll see if we get some more going on.
All right.
But is there any questions anybody has that they are interested in going on, or things they wish to see about discussed in? And if anybody in the chat wants to jump in, I will let you join in.
Yeah.
So all you got to do is just ask.
This time, so you're going to have to let me know what's going on.
Okay, let's see here. We just came off Christmas at the Party Source. And so as a result, most of the rare stuff is already gone. And we're in the new year. And so all the people, of course, the unicorns are being chased. And unfortunately, nowadays, Blanton's is being chased.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, that has become a unicorn. And a lot of people I found that throughout the season were learning it for the first time. And now all of a sudden, there were those that couldn't quite understand it, but there are those that just like, yes. And I have been told two things. One from the distributors and one from Buffalo Trace himself, as well as, I'm just going to say, and Buffalo Trace has told me two things.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so real quick, Rob Aquatica wants to know if we like Jameson. I enjoy Jameson, but I think there are ones that I like better than JMO.
That was the what is that? The black barrel, I think it's called.
Oh, the Jameson Black Barrel?
Yeah, that one's
That's
awesome.
the one finished in the bourbon barrel, isn't it?
Yeah, I just know it's charred barrels, but you really do taste the char, and it's like super fruity. Apples and pears, from what I remember. Great stuff.
Have you heard anything about Buffalo Trace's releasing Last Drops? I have not heard a thing about that yet.
Maybe Mash and Drum. This guy's...
Yeah, he's really good. You know anything, Mash and Drum?
Love watching his live
streams
streams with the all the news that he does. I mean, he's really on top of that stuff.
He really is. He is definitely a wealth of knowledge. We let's see here. And so just for the sake of it, I'm going to do this real quick. And in case if anybody in the chat cares to, if not, we can always that's if they're interested. But if not, good evening, Bearded Beerman. Good to see you. But anyway, we were talking about that. So anyway, Buffalo Trace told me two things. The first thing that I was told was they're 8 years behind. 95% of the state is out. Now, the reps and distributors told me the same exact thing. And then I had this guy come in who he said this. He was told this by Buffalo Trace, and Buffalo Trace told me this as well, that they have enough bourbon. They just don't have enough bottles.
Oh.
Which I personally don't believe that.
No, because, I mean, bourbon's the hardest thing to make, so...
Average, I mean, that's why people say, and just real quick, Bearded Beerman, Rod J. Beer Ventures, it's awesome to see you guys. It really is. Thanks for swinging in. If you guys haven't done it, I'm going to beg you, plead you, hit that like button so we can drive it up a bit. And while we're also doing that, one of the biggest things I also hear is people ask me, why is this a short of bourbon? And then you have to say, oh, it's a 53-gallon barrel that sits for an average of 8 years. As a result, there's also the angel's share, their evaporation. By the end of 8 years, you've lost maybe 35–40% of the barrel. As a result, you only have maybe 30–35 gallons. So as a result, it takes 8 years to make that bottle, 8 years, 1 year to drink, one night to drink that bottle. That's why there's a short in bourbon and other things. I mean, it takes that long to make it and really quick to drink one bottle.
Right.
Unless you're like me and you take the bottles and you just lovingly nurse them.
Hey, that's
now with that disturbing image in your head. Put that as our clickbait. So, All right. That was a big thing. You know, just Christmas. Everybody wanted those unicorns. You know, they know they can't get the pappy, but then they are learning. But oh my gosh, even worse, Four Roses is now a victim.
Well, what was it?
Yeah, the small batch and the single barrel
yeah.
fell prey to the drought this year.
Really? Wow. I gotta get on that.
Yeah.
I just bought before Christmas. I got the Eagle Rare, which I have not tried yet, but I ended up paying $50 for it because people just, you know, buy them off as soon as they're on the shelves. They're gone. So I just ended up paying the $50 in order to get one.
Yeah, if you can get the single barrel proof the Stint Yeast strain Four Roses, then you know you are getting some awesome stuff. Whiskey Dude wants to know what you're drinking.
Oh, I'm drinking the Dalwhinnie Winter's Frost from Game of Thrones.
I love some Dalwhinnie. Okay, and real quick, Whiskey Dude, 1792 is my staple in my house. This is a limited release. This is the high rye. It is technically, I understand it's a high wheat bourbon, but the rye is just so spicy in their regular 1792 that it delivers this dusty rick house with a bit of fruit on the finish. Do enjoy it a lot. It is a staple in my cabinet, whether it's for cocktails or for sipping or just hanging out and pouring people a great bourbon. Because honestly, they're still doing great quality.
Oh, yeah. What's the proof on that again?
The proof on 1792 always rocks in at about 94.3. They never quite reach 95. They always keep it like just below. Yeah, right. And while I am doing that, I'm going to search this here real quick, and I'm going to drop your link in. There we are. I'm going to drop your link since you're not actually chatting there, Antonio, in case anybody here new wants to check out Antonio's channel. He's one of the most underrated YouTubers out there, in my opinion. Great guy. Really, really like his stuff. So, and there it is. So if you would check out his channel, all you in the chat, we really appreciate you hanging out with us. We got 10 watching. We've got 8 likes. Really, really enjoy it. Yes. This 1792 is always very sexy good. Okay. Now, was there anything you witnessed happening during the Christmas months that
whiskey related? I don't think I noticed anything big besides like the Game of Thrones stuff coming out, all those bottles already going crazy on the secondary market.
Yeah, people went nuts on those things.
Yeah, I mean, I can't find any more. And even though on their websites, on liquor stores' websites, it'll say that they have some in stock, you call them, they're like, oh, we're out. So they're just, they're flying.
Oh, man, that is funny. I mean, we got an unexpected amount of them. And so as a result, it was just we ran out once people caught on, and then we got a secondary shot of them, and so people kind of jumped on it and started grabbing all that they could at that moment.
Yeah,
and that was just really cool. Zero to Homestead has joined us. Thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
But definitely, if I see one more, I'll pick it up. I'm not gonna hesitate. And
the one I really wanted was the Lagavulin, which I am always a huge fan of Lagavulin. And Whiskey Dude, 1792 being a high rye flavor on the palate, closest thing I would kind of compare it to, if you've ever done a very old Barton with much more fruit to it. Because I just think, honestly, it's just a perfect staple for anybody, or at least for me. Just an awesome bourbon. Really, really good. Now, Whiskey Dude also says the Game of Thrones stuff gives him a stiffy. So,
yeah, he reviewed I think one so far. This guy actually's got most of the collection done.
Oh, that's nice. That's honestly the the bosses wouldn't let me take them out. Now they were like, if you can buy them if you want, and I wasn't going to do that. The one I was given 2 bottles for Christmas. One from a rep, which was Napo Castle 12, which is a great Irish single malt, and a really good a customer actually picked up a Henry McKenna tin that he gave me, which, you know, I thought that was really, really nice. He was out of state and he saw it and he bought one because that was the first bottle I ever gave him, recommended to him to purchase. And that was about 2 years ago. And
when it was cheaper. Yeah.
And it just that you never realize the influence you have on people. And it's just really cool to see that. So Whiskey Dude says you've inspired him.
Well, that's all part of doing reviews. It's just getting people.
Oh goodness.
Maybe they don't know much about whiskey, and even when I do my reviews, I try to throw in some information there. Some people might not care about it because maybe they're already into whiskey, but for the people that are not, you know, I do it mainly for that, so they can, you know, the more people that join into the whiskey thing, the better.
Yeah, it's just telling people about it is just awesome, and just for me, it's like a high. Just seeing people taste and enjoy it for the first time. We had Jeff Knapp just joined us, saying he's revisiting Woodford Double Oak tonight, which that is an excellent choice right there. Nice. Jeff is a longtime watcher of our channel, great guy. Have always enjoyed him. Zero to Homestead is relatively new to our channel, but he is. I've really enjoyed watching some of his stuff. He's got some cool stuff over there on Thriving in Appalachia. Let's see. As far as Christmas time, probably one of the most unexpected hits that we got that I love showing off was 2 bottles. One of them was Jay Rieger's. I don't know. Are you familiar with him?
No.
Okay. Jeff is saying, J.O., would I recommend the Napogue? I love a good whiskey. I would very much recommend it. It is a single malt, 12 years old, very soft. Not as quite as good as Redbreast, which is a much thicker, bolder. This is more soft with a fruitier finish. It's rather quite nice. I do enjoy it, but it is just so very soft, almost like a limousine oak French cognac barreling style finish. So it is very, very light. Okay, and but okay, Jay Rieger is out of Kansas City, Missouri. And what is really cool about that particular bottle is it's a whiskey out of Kansas City. They tend to, when I talk to them, I hear this from every distributor. Before Prohibition, we were the biggest. So they claim to be the biggest whiskey distributor before Prohibition. Whether or not this is true or not, I don't know. And whether or not they're stretching the truth in the meaning the biggest distributor in the area, biggest distributor in Missouri, North Coast, in that time zone. I don't know in the world.
Right.
That's what I've been informed.
Yeah.
But it was, we had Dave Pickerel from Whistlepig, who's no longer with us.
Right. Rest in peace.
Very much so. Awesome, awesome man. We had a couple of fun interviews with him, and what a friggin' character. I have some bloopers of him. He's actually doing a, I said, give me a smile for the camera, and he just threw up and said, I am not a crook. A good old Nixon reference. But, man, he just, he said, I don't want to take away from him, but I really want to give him a push. And he pulled out the Jay Rieger bottle, and he just said, basically, he helped his friends establish it. And it was him who found a lost clause in whiskey, which stated that whiskey could contain no more than 2% sherry in it. So as a result, that was for color. Well, they got to thinking about it. Nobody else is adding sherry to their whiskey, so they went and they got Oloroso sherry to it, and they made some of the best. I mean, I call it when people come in and look for anything like not Four Roses, Angel's Envy.
Okay.
I show them this one because Angel's Envy is such an awesome product and a great starting whiskey. You want to kind of branch out. So the J. Rieger gives you on the nose maple and oak, not much. But on the palate, it's a straight barroom flirt. It tells you one flavor profile, then it swings over here, tells you another flavor profile, tells you something else, then something else, never settling on anything. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's
so
just
anyway,
a journey. Yeah.
Yeah. What about Red Spot? Have you tried Red Spot yet?
I haven't tried Red Spot.
I've tried the green and the yellow, but I don't recall. And I've done a taste of the blue, but never the Red Spot. Have you tried that one, Whiskey Dude?
Those are all on my to-do list.
Okay. So J. Rieger was one of the big unexpecteds for the year. And the second one was Cassius Clay. Not to be mistaken for Muhammad Ali. The Cassius Clay that was a Lion of Whitehall. Okay. And the bottle is really cool. It comes with a cannon mounted on it. And it actually is a fully articulated cannon. It's really quite cool. I don't have a bottle of it.
I have to check that out.
But hang on. Let me see if I can pull up a link of it real quick. And there we go. I'll just give a full link to the page of images here. And there it is. But anybody can see the Cassius Clay images of the bourbon. It's got a full cannon on it, and the story goes that when he retired, he put a cannon on the corner of every bit of his property to ward off any unbidden guest.
All right.
There's a scandal involved and other fun things, but it's a really fun story.
I have to check that one out.
Okay. Did you try anything interesting over Christmas?
That Metallica one that I just reviewed, that was pretty impressive. Have you tried that one?
I have not.
Oh my God, it's so good. I totally recommend that. Spend the $50, pick it up. Everybody's palate's different, but it had some really nice flavors that just well-rounded. Everything played nicely together. It's a really nice whiskey, and Dave Peckerell's last production that he made.
That's pretty awesome. Oh man, Metallica's actually coming to tour Cincinnati in like the next few months.
I think that's how they're releasing them in different states. Is when they hit.
We have not received it yet.
Yeah, I think that's how they're doing it. Because they just came here, and that so happened that weekend when they played here, I just went to the store to buy some wine for my wife, and I wasn't even gonna pass by the whiskey section, but I was like, let's go see what's going on. And it was right there, and I've been bugging those guys for months. When are you guys getting it? When are you guys getting it? And it was right there, and then I grabbed the bottle. I'm like, let's take this home today.
I have so many times I've walked by and said, I'm not going to go over there and check. I'm not doing that. And I do it anyway. And that seems to happen. Jeff Knapp says he enjoys your review of Blackened. Wish you could get some up in Columbus, Ohio.
Pretty soon, I'm sure it's going to be nationwide. It's going to be everywhere.
We are sitting on a bottle of Hibiki 12 that we're hoping to review in the new year, Marty and I. Amos and I, we got such a lot of love from the that Star Trek bourbon whiskey. It's
I like that one.
Kirk. That the bosses are asking us to do a few more skit style, so we've kind of been pitching some fun ideas just to open up with like maybe a little 30-second skit and then go into the review of an item, or just something unexpected here and there. And so just have a little bit more fun, because
oh yeah, definitely.
Those videos are a lot of fun.
And that's what I'm trying to do too, is have a little bit more fun.
I'm seeing that in your I mean, like, your thumbnail for the Game of Thrones review with the broadsword is friggin' awesome.
And like you asked me off camera, but people don't know, it's like I got that sword for my wife for our anniversary, our 10th year anniversary. So, you know, no flowers, no rings, no jewelry. I got her a foam Game of Thrones sword, and she loved it. So she's a great woman.
Yeah, I watched season 1, but I've read all the books, and since I was going to read watch the seasons as the books started going out, but then he surpassed the books, and I said, you know, I want to read the books first. Okay, and Whiskey Dude has asked, he's asked these books behind me. There's whiskey, there's mezcal, there's cocktails, a couple of wine over here, but some histories of like aperitif and so forth. This is just a small fraction of them. These are ones that I have been working with for a while, but Mike, let me grab this here. All these little notes on the top are recipes that I intend on getting to. And then when I do the recipes, I write them and I write a review of what I thought of it. And I love getting old, out of print, or even new books, because we're seeing a resurgence in cocktails now, instead of just getting books like this one.
Candy shots.
Yeah, I mean, sorority sister drinks. I mean, like Fruity Pebbles,
vodka or something like that.
Yeah, one part blue carousel, 1 part raspberry liqueur, 2 parts milk. That's the entire thing. You know, it's just things that, you know, you would get at like Coyote Ugly, or
clear.
Yeah, order it with your Jello shot kind of things. These are fun for like I get invited to a lot of first 21 birthday parties. Most of them are employees, and so because I run the education table, a lot of people are like, "Jo, can you please come to my party and bring some stuff?" And so I actually have a little travel suitcase that has alcohol in it. And you like the slippery nipple with a twist.
Nice.
I could see that working. I find myself, I started simple back in the day. I started with the girly drinks, and in the past 7 years, it's really evolved into thicker dinner-driven drinks, such as I love Boulevardiers. My classic go-to is an old-fashioned. I could honestly drink an old-fashioned just about any time. That's just my personal pick. Do you have a favorite cocktail?
Well, like I said, I told you before, not really into the whole cocktail thing. It's something I do have to give a try and you know, experience that a little bit more, but I don't go past the whole, you know, mixing it with Coke or, you know, some juice or something. But
there are just so many people that when they come up to me and they just say, "Please don't laugh, but this is just going to be mixed with Coke." If you like that, you like that.
Yeah, drink it however you want.
Yeah, there is no wrong way to drink your whiskey. And one thing I say quite often is, you drink what you like and you like what you drink. Who am I to tell you what you're doing is wrong?
Yeah.
And as a bourbon nerd back in the day, you know, full of piss and vinegar, just will say, you know, I was making it my job to tell everybody about the bourbons I thought were the best. And this guy came in and he was buying a Jack Daniels. And I said, "Dude, don't buy that. Buy this. This is real bourbon." And I gave him some Buffalo Trace. About a week later, he came in and he saw me and he told me how terrible that body was. That bottle was awful. It was the worst bourbon he'd ever tasted. And, you know, he should have never listened to me. And it was at that moment I had that gear slip in my head where it just realized I had given a man basically the equivalent of drinking 30 years worth of drinking Coca-Cola. I gave him a Pepsi for the first time.
Right.
And so it wasn't right to him.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to listen to him and see where the palate is and go from there.
Yeah, and now with being much wiser, now it's like I invite them over to the bar. Now that we have the bar, I give them a taste and like see what you think here. And if they're like Jack Daniels, or Jim Beam, I swing them into something of that flavor profile, but just bump up. Like let's say they like the Beam line. Basil Hayden's a great introductory to a finer sipping whiskey.
Yeah.
And not something I hung out on very long because it's just 80 proof and it's just introductory.
Yeah. But it's still good.
It is. It's the one thing I always say about Buffalo Trace. I'm sorry. The one thing I always say about Jack Daniels and Jim Beam. Consistency.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, their quality is consistent. And kudos to them for that.
And that's got to be hard. I mean, to keep track of all those barrels and just to get that consistency going. I can't imagine the stress they go through.
Have you ever had the pleasure of touring down there?
No, not yet.
At the Jim Beam facility. When they took us through the Jim Beam facility, they took us to this awesome room to where it's like right next to it's right above their bottling area. And for those who do not know, I just dropped the link to Antonio. So if you are new to our channel, please check out his stuff. He's here in the chat, in the live hangout with me. You've tuned in to We Talk Whiskey Wednesday, where we hang out and just talk for about an hour or such, just about whatever comes up and what's happening in the whiskey world. And whatever the chat gets us going. This is our first time back, so we really did not have a plan. But it's just kind of nice just to hang out and catch up with everybody. So we will be taking recommendations for what we'll be talking about in the next few weeks. So feel free to drop those in the comments. And, okay, so anyway, back to Jack Daniels. Back to Jim Beam. I'm not in Tennessee. It is right above their bottling area. There is this whole area that is covered in industrial grade chicken wire.
Really?
And you can look in there and it's just shelves upon shelves of Jim Beam products. And they're just lined up. And what they are is they are bottles. I mean, there's full gallon complete with the tilting areas, ones that are not available in the States. There's the 50 milliliters, and it's just batches that have been shipped out. So the idea is, being this multi-million-dollar company, if somebody says, my bottle didn't taste right, something's wrong, send us a sample of this bottle, and we'll see what it is. And then they can pull out that bottle from the date of, say, it says on the bottle, bottled January 14th, 2017. They pull out 2014, January. And there you have it. You have they're able to match. And like one of the best stories they had was this lady was saying the bottle turned bad. And she's like, can you please, something's wrong. And so they sent the bottle in, and it was half filled with Dawn dish soap.
Oh.
Her teenagers had gotten into the bottle and refilled it with dish soap. Why?
Maybe that's what they thought it tasted like.
Probably. Yeah. The whiskey dude says, I can see Jim Beam having an issues like that. It was actually really cool. I just kind of want to go through and try try some of the different bottles from year to year, but they would not let me do that.
No, yeah, of course. Yeah. Did you see that with the Matthew McConaughey with the Long Branch whiskey?
Mm-hmm.
Where he's in the office with the distiller and they let him try something from the pre-prohibition days that they were saving from that day. It was like this much left in the bottle. I mean, this guy got to taste that.
Oh, that is freaking awesome. One of the greatest joys I ever had was a customer actually came in and he gave me this very small mason jar, like one that you put spreads in.
Okay.
And it was filled with about 4 ounces of bourbon. And he gave it to me and he said, this is, nobody knows how old it is, but the story goes, it has been, the house has been in the same family for generations. It was a local house about 2 miles from the party source.
Okay.
The story goes that the family knew Prohibition was coming, and they bought all kinds of rye whiskey. They emptied them into mason jars, and they canned them.
Okay.
And over years, it was lost what it was, but the family had owned so much of it, the family had been drinking on this whiskey for almost a full century.
Wow.
And then they realized what they had, and they started selling it and giving it to actual bourbon guys. And they brought this in for me, and it's unlike anything you've ever had.
Really?
Yeah, it just amazing. You know, I can still picture in my mind, and it's just ultra soft. You can obviously taste the rye, a large amount of dust, but just what a flavor and character. And unfortunately, it's no longer with me. I shared it with some other bourbon friends and some extreme cocktail bartender geniuses. I call them bar geniuses because they make some of the best cocktails.
Yeah. So here's my question. After you've tried something that special, how can you set that apart from other stuff that you drink and then not compare it to something like that?
Because it no longer exists.
Yeah, simple as that. I don't know.
It really is, and for me, it's a happy memory. Like I can live in that happy memory, but I'm going to be missing a happy memory that I'm with now, such as like the best whiskey you were drinking is the ones you're drinking with your friends.
Right.
And like this is pretty darn good right now. I mean, you know, I'm hanging out with all you guys in chat. Antonio here. We're having a great time just reminiscing about bourbons. It's beautiful stuff.
Because I gave my brother Steve, let him try some of the Ardbeg 10 that I have. And he's a beer guy, barely getting into whiskey, and that blew him away. He thought it was so good. He really likes hoppy beer, so I think that's why I gave it to them. But he enjoyed it so much that now anything he tastes that's whiskey related, he's like, oh, this is garbage. Nothing compares to what you gave me. I'm like, well, you got to try other stuff. But
that is very, very true. There's been numerous times when I've told a couple of customers, you know, I told them you've ruined your palate by drinking nothing but this one thing. What you need to do is it's not going to be enjoyable to start with, but it will be after a period of time. You need to drink something else. It won't take long, but you drink something else and your palate will start to adjust. And I've experienced that firsthand because before I was in bourbon and whiskey, I was studying to be a somm. And I was learning wines, and I drank for about a month nothing but the wine that I enjoyed, in which I just drank nothing but port. And I did nothing but a big port study. And so as a result, when I got back to wines, my first response was, look, this isn't right. And I realized, wait a second, I've ruined my palate with this really sweet stuff, and I've got to get used to these more bitter ones.
Yeah.
Because everything is bitter and tannic after you've drunk nothing but a sweet, syrupy red port wine.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I mean, all I drank back in the day was Jack Daniels, number 7, Maker's Mark, Jameson, the regular Jameson, and Jim Beam White Label. That's all we ever had at the bars. And it was always shots, mixing it with Coke. It wasn't until last year recently when I started doing the reviews that I really got into tasting this neat and And that's mainly why I don't mix it with anything, because I'm just having so much fun experiencing all these different flavors from everything that I'm trying. So pretty much everything I review is like the first time that I've really had that whiskey, because I've always stuck to just those basic ones, you know?
That is very, very true, because I'll just say, man, just enjoying the whiskey, sipping on it, savoring those flavors, and seeing what one tastes like to the next. Picking up a single barrel from a different store, seeing what somebody else's palate is like from store to store is amazing. It's just a lot of fun trying that. And the answer Whiskey Dude's question, he says, J.O., you look like a tequila guy. Actually, that's my wife. My wife is a huge margarita fan. I like mezcal, and I like certain tequilas. But tequila is normally the last thing on my mind that I'm thinking of that I want to sit and sip next to vodka. Cheers to the fellowship, says the bearded beerman. Thank you very much. Cheers to you too. I haven't seen you in such a long time. It's good to hear from you, buddy. Really is. Can you drop me an email, bearded beerman? My email is in the comment below of any and all of our videos. I want to get with you about possibly talking about some beer. And let's see here. Something else that, okay, that was it. Going in the bars where it's like they only serve nothing but Jack, Jim, and, you know, occasionally you got lucky and you got Bullet. Or even worse is going to a bowling alley where all they have is Jack Daniels and Bud Light.
Yeah.
So I started doing these tricks. This is way before I was developing candy at this time. So this was about 10 years ago. Before I was studying to be a sommelier, I developed candies for about 5 years. So there's a little bit more of my history. So I've always worked with like palate and whatnot. Cheap ass drunk man, he says. So anyway, I would go to the bowling alley with my wife, who was a librarian at the time, with a bunch of librarians. And so somebody would come over with a pint of beer, and they would start pouring this pint of beer. And I'm thinking, gosh, this is like toilet backwash. You know, I hate beer to begin with at that time. And, you know, light beer is even worse. And so I went over and I bought a small thing of jalapenos, and I just put a couple in my glass. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm infusing my beer. Drop a few jalapenos in there. They didn't believe it until they tried it. And next thing I know, somebody comes over with a pitcher with full of like five or six jalapenos in there because they loved it. The second trick is shot of Jack Daniels, your Budweiser, and you pour that in there. And you're making basically a bourbon-infused beer. Really picks up the ABV and takes the tannins a lot better.
See, I never took the time to do anything like that. It was just a shot, chase it with the beer.
It's a lot of fun to do that. If not, it's also a quick way to really mess with your friends. Just when they leave, you put a shot of they would do that, like put 2 shots of Jägermeister in their beer.
Yeah.
So they come back, take a sip, and like, what happened?
Actually, Jägermeister is one thing I can sip on that everybody looks at me like I'm the weirdo, but
I love Amaros.
It's like cough syrup. Some Robitussin.
Whiskey Dude's cracking me up here. Bowling alley has all those drunk hoes doing karaoke. My type of place. So, oh man, Jägermeister's nice. I love Amaros. I really dive hard into I like Cynar. Goodness, we have this massive collection of these things. And so people are always asking me, what is an Amaro? And I hate to describe it as Jägermeister. Because everybody, when you say Jägermeister, their response is, ew, Jägermeister. I'm not quite going to read that out loud, Whiskey Dude. I'll censor it. He says, man, not too long ago, some bar hog showed me some stuff. I was cool at the time, but now I'm like, ew. And Bearded Beerman says he will contact me, so I appreciate that. Let's see here. Anybody in the comments? What are you drinking? We would love to know. Let's see here. Oh, Eclipse Brewing just dropped in to say hi. Hey, thanks for stopping in. It's good to see you. Long time no hear from you. Hope things are all well over there. You guys are good, we hope. And
the whiskey dude and me did a blind rye taste test. I sent them three samples of Irish whiskeys that he had not tried, and he sent me 3 ryes. I don't know if you saw that video, but that was a really fun video. I had never done a blind tasting before, and it was whiskeys that I have never tried before. So that was really fun, and I plan to do a little bit more of that stuff.
That sounds awesome. Okay, we just got some answers here. Kurt Webb says he's drinking Old Grandad 114. That is something you can never go wrong with. And just a heads up, awesome by itself, fantastic in an old Grandpa's Ginger, and even better in Old Fashions. Eclipse Brewing says he's drinking Bourbon County Vanilla Stout, and it's beautiful, nice. Which I'll back him on that. That is a beautiful bottle. Antonio is enjoying one, but I'm enjoying 1792 High Rye. What you drinking, Antonio?
I got the House Stark Dalwhinnie Winter's Frost. Game of Thrones limited edition bottle.
What's the ABV on that?
This one's 43%.
43?
43, okay. And I think that's my sweet spot is 43, and it's really nice, easy sipping. And I mean, this one's just so the mouthfeel on this is just so buttery. It coats your mouth really good. And I've never had a Dalwhinnie, and I'm after this I'm gonna be purchasing one of the other ones because
they're good. Their Distiller Select is really good. The one finished in the sherry barrel is really good.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask you also to reach out to me and shoot me an email. Because I'm going to send you Whiskey Dude says he's drinking Luponic Distortion IPA, which I'm not familiar with that brewery. But I want to send you a pour from my bottle of, it's a private barrel we selected of Craigellachie. It is a 19-year-old cask strength, unchill filtered private barrel select. 265 bottles.
Yeah.
Since it's just a single barrel Scotch, but my goodness, is it ever gorgeous! Wow. I just think it's one of them which I would love to send you just so you can say you tried it.
Yeah, definitely. I'll shoot you an email.
All right.
Is that something you get to do in the stores, like go and pick barrels and stuff like that?
There's a panel of about 7 of us who do that. Unfortunately, I am one of the ones who gets to do it.
Nice.
We do go to distilleries, and we do also, they send us samples sometimes, such as like when it's out of country, they're sending us samples.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Couple of tequila guys have been working with me. A newer tequila company is working with us to be the first to bring in a single barrel, which I think that's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
And it's really awesome as well to see how, because of the single barrel bourbon, and now with the bourbon shortage, we are getting all these awesome single barrels of like single barrel tequila, single barrel Scotch, single barrel rum, which, holy cow, that is a life changer if you've never tried that.
Yeah, it's a lot happening in the spirit world now.
Such as one of my favorite rums on the market, the Papa's Pilar, is. Are you familiar with them?
No.
Papa's Pilar.
Only rum I know is, you know.
Okay, no, I got you. You're in a state-controlled area. Bearded Beerman says he's drinking the Little Jameson Caskmates Stout Edition, and that is delicious, as well as their IPA edition.
Right there.
Yeah, that's a good one. Bundaberg, he's saying that is the best rum he's ever tasted. let's see here. So Papa's Pilar, they sent us a couple of samples of it. And I got 2 bottles, and they're like, you can have one of them. And I took a sip. Okay, this bottle is really, really good. Took a sip of the second one. Like, we're buying that barrel. This, some of I didn't say anything. A couple of my other fellow employees come over. They sipped. Yeah, we're taking that one. And it was just stupidly delicious rum, just out of this world.
Oh.
Jeff Knapp says he doesn't have much rum experience and he would like to try some of them. I would recommend trying some of the island rums. Step away from the common ones that we all know, such as Bacardi, the Wells, Admiral Nelson, Sailor Jerry's. All those are very nice. They're just kind of well. So start looking at like the Foursquare. Those are new and winning all kinds of awards. The Porteño, which is really good. Plantation has an awesome lineup. Dark rums are definitely a great way to start whiskey, dude. The ones I would recommend staying away from are any of the Fiji or some of the Cassius. Stay away from them, and the Agricole. The Fiji are very funky. And they are, if you are not expecting that, it is pretty intense. However, you dive into the Barbados, you are going to get a much sweeter palate.
Oh, okay.
Such as we got another private barrel of plantation rum from Barbados, which spent 5 years in a bourbon barrel, 1 year in a Bonyuls barrel, which is a dessert red wine that is fortified, so it's about 18%. And
now, rum, do you get just like with scotches that you can get some like brininess and stuff like that, that it's out in the sea and stuff? Do you get stuff like that too?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
One of them that we had, I'm going to give my full description on it. On the nose, it was a plantation single barrel that spent 5 years in a bourbon barrel, 1 year in a Pierre Ferdinand Flot de Gascon barrel, which is a very fancy wine cognac hybrid.
Okay.
On the nose, Sandbar Oasis. So you get a bit of plankton, seaweed, salt, all that mingled into a water that does not flow out as much as the tide. So as a result, you get this really salty, sweet water that has a chance to grow some kind of life. And then you taste it and you get that in there with hints of coral. And then on the back grilled tropical fruits.
Nice.
It was crazy good.
Yeah.
It was a very limited bottle, and unfortunately, it is dead now.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Anything else that's comparable to that, maybe?
Oh boy, some of the plantation stuff is really good, but if I ever end up in Chicago, I'll definitely I'll bring some stuff so you can really try.
All right, yeah, definitely.
There's some good stuff there. Oh man. So we got about 10 more minutes of this for our hour is up. So if there's anything anybody wants to pitch or say out, we are up to 13 likes out of 9 present watchers right now. We've not dipped below 5. Hopefully we'll get our numbers back up when we start doing this even more. Joining in the chat is the one, the only, the awesome Antonio. Antonio, tell them about your channel, please.
Follow me at my whiskey channel for reviews, Whiskey Quests. Everything I try is for the first time, and I'll give you my honest opinion on it. I study everything whiskey, so I try to give you as much information as I can without boring you, and just having a good time and meeting new people, just like J.O. right here. Just awesome people that I'm meeting. The whiskey dude, we've become really close with that guy. And Josh from Talking Whiskey.
He was supposed to join us tonight. He wasn't able to.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll be able to get Not So Secret Speakeasy's Tony back in the group. He's still stuck on doing late nights, unfortunately.
That should end soon, right?
Hopefully that will end soon. And we got my special guest assistant reviewer here, Marty. For those who watch the channel, will catch that reference there.
Marty?
Oh, that's actually my old man. That's Rinky Dink.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. I normally try to keep the cats out of the video because the internet has enough of them.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah. Mash and Drum. We can't forget him. He's tuned in.
Oh, yeah.
He's joined a couple of times. He's been really good. Great guy. Very, very knowledgeable. He only has about 600 subscribers, but he is such a great reviewer.
Actually, he just broke to 1,000.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I only saw him that was like a month ago. He's done really good.
No, this was just a few days ago. He posted it on Instagram.
Oh, that is awesome. Good for him.
Cheers to that.
I'm really proud. I mean, he is just a great reviewer. He's very, very dedicated.
Oh, yeah, he definitely deserves that. I mean, he's doing, 3 videos a week?
That is pretty awesome.
Or something like that. Yeah, he does. He puts in the work, so.
He really does. J.O., I wouldn't think you were a cat person. Only 1,000 subs. Shh, I wish I had 200. I remember being there, Whiskey Dude. Best thing I can say is just join in chats, talk with people, leave comments. Don't necessarily promote your channel. Just promote yourself. Make yourself a little more personal is the best thing I can say on that. And, I'm certainly not going to forget you guys. That's for sure. You guys have always been very helpful to me. Certainly going to be helping out there. So if anybody has any comments on what we think we should be doing for future convos, we can always talk about that. We've got some, anybody who has any cool ideas, we can certainly do it. We can discuss mezcals one week, which are you up to date on mezcals?
Not me, but I can purchase one.
They're fun.
About it.
They're fun. If not, we can do the thing of tequila. We can talk more about Scotch, of course. Scotch has 4 regions plus blended Scotch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that could easily be something fun to do in the future. Yeah, there's literally limitless possibilities. If not, we can just talk about current events. And, the one current event everybody goes back to is the Pappies.
Oh, the Pappies, yeah. Well, as long as people engage in the comments, in the chat, we can take it from there.
Yep. So just leave that in the comments. Whether if you are watching this later, you can leave it in the bottom down there. If you're not, join us in on the live streams in the future when we jump in and do more and more of these. If you have not yet done it, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Check out Antonio's channel. I am dropping a link for that again if you haven't done it. Mezcal, rums, and brandies is what Jeff Knapp is saying, which, yep, those are definitely worth a check out. We can easily fit these into We Talk Whiskey because they're becoming alternatives to the whiskeys.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, let's see here if I can pull that quarter that's been stuck back there, and it didn't come. Okay, so I pull the old quarter trick there. All right, so I guess we'll be signing off. Guys, it has been wonderful hanging out with all of you. Thank you so much. We shall see you hopefully next week. If there is a problem with it, just I'll let you guys know that I cannot be doing it. Hopefully this will not become an issue. Christmas months are over. Yeah. So until the next We Talk Whiskey Live, take care, guys. Have a great day. And yeah, cheers.